Welcome to the Disagreeable Nerd podcast, a podcast where nerds from various ages and backgrounds get together to discuss movies, TV, books, and anything else that pops into their small, simple minds. Now sit back, relax, and let their ignorance wash over you.
And welcome to another episode of the Disagreeable Nerd. This is Disagreeable Nerd, episode...
You don't even know the episode. That's how long it's been.
It's episode 112. 112.
Wow.
I'm your host, Goblin. With me today also is...
Sade.
And with me today also is...
Deej.
And we're back.
Back.
Okay, so we're not messing around. This is a work day. We all just got off work.
Yeah.
But in an effort to get this episode out before I forget everything that happened in this movie, we're going to discuss Spider-Man.
Well, we all
Can't Find My Way Home.
Wait.
Spider-Man Lost, basically, right?
Well, so
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
well, okay. I was thinking, are you just kind of like trying to figure out a different way to say it? Because I was gonna say
Spider-Man
No
Not
Way.
Getting Back to the House.
Man, that sounds so cringe. I'm like, ugh, cringe.
Okay, so
So due to the fact we're podcasting on a work days, because we all watched, well,
nobody cares.
nobody cares that
Oh, that's
we
true.
all watched the movie different days. So we're podcasting kind of on a different day that's not the weekend. So that's why we're doing
Thank you for that
I
unnecessary
don't know.
idea.
I don't know why I said all that information.
All right,
I was kind of
so
hoping I'd be able to watch it again before we casted, but
yeah.
it probably wasn't going to happen.
Spider-Man No Way Home shatters box office records, swinging with $587.2 million worldwide, 260 domestically.
Hey, Gubby, is that a lot?
Deej, I'll ask you then, does that surprise you in these times?
No.
It does me. I would have never thought it would get to those heights during the pandemic when everything else is
Ain't
fallen.
nobody care about no coronavirus no more.
But it's affected every movie. The biggest movie up to now was Venom. It like what, 90 million
but-
domestic opening?
But seriously,
Exactly.
everybody's going to theaters now.
But we had Black Widow. We had
Watch that at home.
F9.
Watched it at home.
I didn't
Oh, well.
because I'm part of the family.
Yeah, I'm not.
Spider-Man No Way Home, though, yes, it is a much, it's the movie event of the season.
Everybody loves Spider-Man. The friendly neighborhood
Our theater in McKinney was packed.
As
Annoyingly
was
so.
as
Same
was
was Paris.
Okay, so me and Jerry had went to two other, like, the early openings. We went to Thursday Dune. Nobody was in there. Nobody. Except us. We went to Thursday. What was the other one?
You guys went and saw James Bond.
James Bond. We saw James Bond on Thursday. Nobody was in there. It was like us and like another guy in the corner and another guy in the back. It was like nobody. This one, we didn't go Thursday, but we did go Friday. So I can't really compare. Maybe Thursday, nobody was in there, but I doubt it.
The weird thing about the theater
We went on
to,
a Saturday.
and it was crowded, of course, because everybody's off work.
Yeah, and we went Friday after work at the 5:50 showing. It was still a matinee though, cheap prices.
And it was hot.
It was absolutely packed to the gills.
And it was just everybody's body heat, I think.
So this is the first movie I went to packed to the gills.
Same.
But I would say post-pandemic. We're not post-pandemic.
Nope.
In pandemic.
Current.
Not gonna lie, I was a little squirmish.
Yeah.
Squeamish.
Yeah, you were, because you had your mask
Yeah,
on.
we got an end seat on purpose so that we didn't have to sit between anybody. But, dude, the guy next to me, before like anything was started, we were in there, before the previews. He had a big thing of popcorn. It was him, his wife, and somebody else, and he was just going. And he was just shoveling it into his face, chewing loudly, and just talking.
I would have been so
And
mad.
he would say stuff on the screen that was obvious to anybody else watching the screen. He'd go, "Ha! Oh,
No.
yeah."
No.
And he would like say something,
Please
like
stop.
about it was like a preview. He's like he would name the movie,
Oh, thank
No,
you.
I would
And then
tell
he
him
would,
to
like,
shut
laugh.
up.
and then there was a kid behind me. There was like 6 kids, and one of them just kept reading everything on the screen. Like
Don't you
read.
hate the theater going experience?
Don't you hate kids?
Yes,
because
when there's annoying people, which there always seems to be directly beside me.
There were kids behind us too.
80% of the audience was kids, like teenagers, and like they were all making stupid comments during the movie, and also
the kids behind us. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say not only that. Gobby, he was squirmish. You said the word squirmish.
I don't think that's word. I meant squeamish. I was squirming while squeamish. Squirmish.
He had his mask on the whole time. I ditched my mask because it was.
Char and I wore ours the whole time.
It smelled. No, it was like
you
hot.
was eating popcorn.
It was like hot breath because, like, not like funky, just hot. Like I was in a sauna or something. It was just horrible. So I just ditched the mask. I was like, no, I can't do this.
But you were eating popcorn too.
I know, but then I was done.
So if I get Omicron, it's your fault.
Hey, I got the booster vaccine.
We're boosted, baby.
I had a drink and I would just pull my mask away, take a sip, and then immediately put it back on.
Yeah, this is the first one well, in general, large crowds now make me uncomfortable. And I was already uncomfortable in public anyway before the pandemic. Now I'm like germs everywhere. But I have the vaccine. I got boosted. I'm not really... I don't know. It's mentally, it's hard for me now.
I mean, you do live in a world where there's thousands of viruses.
We live in a society.
Okay. So this movie was biggest movie of the year, anticipated, yes. I would imagine. Is there anything coming out after? I mean, I know there are. Something. Oh, Matrix Resurrections, but it's like coming out on HBO
Morbius.
Too. Plus, it's rated R, and nobody's going to... Like, it's not going to near reach the heights of anything Marvel or PG-13 related. Plus, it has a same-day opening on HBO Max, which is definitely going to hurt it. Any thoughts? Pre-show?
Like what
about any of this?
Of the Spider-Man?
Without me having to explain too hard?
I just like to make sure I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
So, I guess... I'd have to say I was looking very much forward to this movie. I knew I was going to like it or love it. I didn't really have any like, oh, this is going to suck. I just knew it was going to be good.
I never doubted it was going to suck, but I was not necessarily looking forward to it.
Of course, you're not looking forward to anything new.
It's not. I've never been a Spider-Man guy.
You've been Superman guy.
I'm a Superman guy. But you know what? The Superman movies suck. Unfortunately. So,
why? Like, yeah.
And I think out of all the lone superheroes, aside from some of Captain America's movies, I would say Spider-Man has the best movies. Period. And we're going to rank our movies at the end of the show.
Yeah, I would have to say, I mean, if we're not talking
Spider-Man's
about
always been my favorite. So I was looking forward to it like real hard.
I love Tom Holland. I like him as Spider-Man. I think he's cool. And I like the best friend relationship he has. And also he
third wheel
looks
Ned
like a teenager.
Poor Ned.
But I don't know.
Ned's the me when I was a kid. all my buddies had girlfriends and be making out in the backseat of cars. I'd be like, hey guys, what zoinka zoinka? What's up?
Zoinka zoinka.
Oh, that's so dumb.
Cracking wise. Poor God. Ned.
I like Ned though.
Meanwhile, Tom Holland and Zendaya are looking super hot, and poor Ned. Is he wearing a wig?
Yes.
Because he's bald.
But he's not bald.
In real life, I thought he was bald.
His head is shaved, yes.
He's like a 20-year-old. He's not bald.
You can be 20 and bald. What's wrong with that?
But
every interview
bald.
You see him in Gabby, he's bald.
DJ's bald.
Why is he bald? Does he shave or is he bald?
You should.
Is he bald?
Google search this.
I need to know. I did not.
I have never seen him with hair except on.
Was he bald in the other movies?
No, he had a wig on.
His wig was noticeable in this one.
You know, I kind of noticed that.
It seemed I never noticed his wig until this one.
I kind of forgot he was bald. Like I knew he was bald, but I forgot he was bald. I don't know if that makes sense, but that makes sense now that I know because like it did look weird. His hair. I was like, "Where's your hairline?" It's kind of strange.
So overall, obviously, we clearly enjoyed this movie. We're not going to do it step by step. Yeah, I never know how to approach these whole.
Let's just go into it like this. No Way Home. Okay, so everyone knows Spider-Man is Peter Parker, right?
right?
Wait, so are we going to just go straight into like the movie discussion, or are we going to like just talk of general thoughts first? Like,
well, I don't think it matters. Like, whatever.
Okay, go ahead, Deej.
just go
General
straight into it?
thoughts.
No, we're good.
No, okay,
I just didn't know where we were going. I thought we just start going into like the whole movie. I'm good with that, by
I
the way.
think we said our general thoughts. We all liked it, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Well, you act like you had something else to say.
Do it, Deej. Do it.
No,
Do you have general thoughts you want to
where
mention?
we were going?
Okay.
Okay, if I was to have said general thoughts, what would you have said? Go.
I thought it was almost a perfect movie, except for like one thing that split into two, which we'll talk about
I
later.
feel like I
but-
know what you're gonna say, but I'll wait.
Yeah, there's like just a couple nitpicks that really aren't like anything that ruins the movie for me. But overall, it was definitely one of the better Marvel movies. I think maybe the best Marvel movie I've ever seen.
Whoa, wait.
And obviously, I'm going to label this a spoiler discussion of Spider-Man.
Of course, you're supposed
Please
to.
do not
Right.
listen to this episode if you're not wanting to be spoiled
Yeah, don't do
about
that.
Spider-Man.
Don't do that weird.
That's why I
No
wanted
way
to say
home.
something before we actually just jumped into it immediately.
Okay.
Like we never actually say no spoilers or anything.
Well, to me, you're like if you're gonna listen to a Spider-Man
Yeah, but
podcast,
most podcasts do label their stuff. Spoiler discussion.
Fine.
Okay, so
fine.
They also usually have like a discussion before with no spoilers,
Yeah.
and then they go into spoilers. We just kind of start, bam.
I like the.
Here's the whole
I like,
movie,
I like us
so-
getting like stable in our like podcast. Like we're getting
Well,
like,
I
structure.
used to try to have a structure, but I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Special effects wise, any iffy special effects to you besides Sandman?
Oh my god!
He's always iffy. Sandman is graphically impossible. Apparently, he just always looks weird.
I was confused as to why he was Sandman the entire time.
I
Like he was made of
know.
sand, but then I figured it out.
What?
Thomas Hayden Church was not there. He was not there for any of the movie, even the very end where he got.
Where he was Thomas Hayden Church.
Yes, that was him, and the lizard was reused footage,
No.
From their movies.
Way.
Wow.
which I immediately realized when I was watching it. I was like, whenever he's looking at his hand,
Oh,
that was from 3. And then when the lizard turned back, that was just reused footage from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Nobody cares about the
Wait.
lizard.
Question. Why
Him
did
and the
In
lizard
fact-
were not there.
Why did they
In fact,
do that?
Paige at the end of the part where that guy was it Kurt Connors or something like he showed up.
Yeah, Kirk Connors.
He shows up for a split second. Paige said, "Who that?" I was like, "Exactly, Paige.
Oh my God.
Nobody cared about that movie." But anyway,
Oh man.
all right. Well, we're going to go into spoilers from here on out. I think most people kind of in the previews they showed the villains, right?
But I'm
Yeah.
The trailers. Okay.
I'm still back on the whole they didn't use the real dudes. I did not know that. Oh my gosh. That blows my mind.
Yeah, I don't know if they just weren't available for filming or they just decided they didn't want to be in it or what. But they're not even in the cast.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to break this movie into 3 sections, basically beginning, middle, and end. And anything in between, y'all can feel free to fill in. The beginning, the continuation of the exact continuation where it's revealed by Mysterio, Spider-Man is Peter Parker. The stupidest thing of
I knew
this
you were going to say this. I
the
knew it.
stupidest
It was,
thing
you were coming for it.
drove me absolutely insane. Why would you go back to high school when everyone in the world knows you're Spider-Man?
You think the
was
writers were thinking
that
about
was
that?
absolutely stupid.
Yeah, because like you would think like he would just
I
go
don't know.
homeschool. Like, I mean,
And
you're
wouldn't-
famous now, or you're like the most famous person in the world now. So like,
And wouldn't they like create a Marvel's Avengers high school compound for you to learn at? And that's also part of my issue with these movies, even with the Hawkeye show. And I know it's brought up in every other single superhero movie. It's irritating because where's the help? Where's all the other superheroes in the Avengers movies during these times?
well, I guess everybody has their own life.
They do, but do they not communicate with each other at all?
Nope.
Unless it's apparently not. Unless they're in a movie
it's also
together.
like why do in these movies why does anybody ever like need money? Like we talked about that during Winter Soldier and the Falcon.
Yeah.
Why is he struggling?
I mean, could Tony Stark
Why is Peter
not loan him a few bucks?
I mean, if you think
Why
about
is Peter struggling? I mean, it's like Pepper, and he knows
people.
Happy. They hang out.
Yeah, it's like, is it frack you unless we're the Avengers together? I mean, it's that
But that's unrealistic, though. Almost right?
No. To me, it's unrealistic not to acknowledge. And I know that they can't sit there during the movie and say, well, Captain America, well, he's old now. Let's see. The Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're off doing their thing. Let's see. Thor. I mean, they'd have to list off for everybody's why they're not there. But then it's not like they're only known tangentially by them. What's the security force Fury works for?
Shield.
Oh,
Shield. I mean, where's Shield? Why aren't they getting involved in helping them?
That is weird. But
I mean,
he asked where Nick was.
He's off world, which apparently the other guy is posing as him as what's the alien that morphs?
The Skrull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched this YouTube thing about all the Easter eggs. That dude, I'm sure he gets them from somewhere else. They notice a picture on the wall in a frame that nobody's looking at. How in the world do you notice? Oh, did you notice his tag hanging in the background that showed blah, blah? I'm like, oh my God. But lots of Easter eggs in this movie.
Lots of them. Yes.
And a lot of them, I mean, just self-referential, obviously, to the other movies.
Well,
there's a lot of callbacks.
You were saying something earlier, just a while ago, about Tom and why is he not in some Marvel school, whatever. I was thinking maybe it's
the X-Men school.
Maybe it's because, well, okay, I see. Okay, if you put it that way, I can understand what you're saying. I was going to say maybe because he is kind of no one likes him right now, and some do. Some are thinking he really did kill Mysterio, or not Mysterio. Did I say Mysterio?
Yes. No, you're right.
Mysterio.
Yeah, it's Mysterio.
Sorry, I thought of my cat.
Named
I
after
was
the
like, why am I
character.
talking about my cat? Sorry.
What a dummy. You literally named him after this character, and now they've become one to you.
I guess so. I kind of,
My cat betrayed Spider-Man.
I was like, wait, what am I saying? But some hate him. I was thinking you were talking about maybe the Marvel will have a school, but I didn't realize you were saying a secret school kind of thing.
Yes. I mean, everything would be. I mean, it's and I know that's what's frustrating. It's for movie purposes and licensing purposes and contract purposes, they can't have everybody in everything all together all the time. But it's frustrating when you're trying to do it in a real world view. Which is stupid because these are superheroes.
Yeah, you can't
But
really.
still.
Those are little nitpicks. You know?
You would think Tony Stark, just like he had taken care of him when he was around, you would think he would have had something. Oh, here's $1 billion to help May and
Hey.
Maybe he didn't care that much.
Guess not.
Because he didn't leave. I mean, he got the suit. That's pretty cool.
So this whole
all he's got.
the whole opening of them being exposed. Any further thoughts, Sade?
Him being exposed, now he can be himself. He don't gotta hide. I think he kind of likes it, but then it kind of sucks for his friends. I don't know. I don't like that everyone knows him. I kind of was waiting for that. Okay, I can't wait till he figure out a way for no one knows he's Peter Parker.
I don't think he liked it.
Or he didn't like it, but he kind of.
He didn't like it because the whole
This
point of the movie
college
is he
thing.
tries to make them all forget.
No, I'm saying in the beginning, he kind of start living his life and he'll just he'll become Peter Parker and Spider-Man right there in front of people. I felt like he kind of was okay with that. He didn't have to hide every single time he did it. But
Well, he specifically told Zendaya he already had everybody he cared about to knew already. So
Ned and Zendaya.
yeah,
in May,
I still don't know her name. MJ?
MJ,
Michelle.
Michelle Jones
Michelle.
or whatever. Johnson. What was it?
Watson.
Ugh.
You know, Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah. But what was her?
Still confused about.
Michelle Jones.
Wait, what?
So stupid.
Her name is Michelle Jones
Yep.
- Watson. But she says she doesn't go by Watson.
Oh.
Also, the character Mary Jane Watson.
Weird.
She doesn't have the same first name
Maybe her
or the same middle
something
name.
with the
Unless her name's
dad.
Michelle Jane Jones Watson. And then the Mary's gone. I don't understand really, but whatever. It's MJ.
As long as it's MJ still, you know.
So this first third of the movie, or however long it is, I'm just breaking it into thirds for my own purposes. They have to do it, but of course it kind of was like, it's a little clunky, a little slow.
I have to say it was a
dealing with
little slow.
The repercussions of the previous movie. Now let's merge it into the next movie. Deej?
Deja, what did you think?
I didn't really
about
think it was slow. I just thought it was kind of like they were trying to. They had a lot to cover, and I didn't think it really went slow. I thought it was kind of. It was a 2.5 hour movie. I feel like the first 30 minutes was kind of 30 to 45 was covering that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Like there was a point where something happened, and then Char's like, "We still got like an hour left." When I thought I was kind of getting close to the end, I was like, "Oh crap, you're right." So I felt like the movie was pretty well paced. Like I didn't have any problem with the speed because once it started going, man, it went going. It was going and going and going and going.
I also I just like the whole impetus for him wanting to change the past was them getting into college.
hated it. Hated that part. Why? It's like every movie, like with teenagers in college, it's like this big hype. Like, oh my god, let's change it.
And that was another thing to me. I'm like, literally, this Spider-Man saves the world. Marvel's Agent Shield. I keep saying Marvel's. The Avengers. The Avengers, Shield, the government. Everyone know. Like, there's all these huge agencies that should be able to help Peter get into school. Like, that's the stupidest thing to me.
I guess I don't want him.
Also, he's free of legal trouble. I mean, pretty Daredevil, hello.
Oh yeah,
Matt
Daredevil
Murdock shows up.
Forgot
I mean, he's
about
like,
him.
you're not in trouble. You're fine. You'll be just fine.
So when Daredevil came in, this guy behind us went, man, he's so fantastic.
Apparently, the lone Daredevil Netflix watcher in the theater.
He's like, oh my god, he's amazing. Like he was like, he's amazing. Like he whispered it, and like I feel like everyone heard.
A lot of people love that show.
Yeah,
Like, really love it.
I actually started it, and I didn't like hate it.
Ben Affleck's my Daredevil. But yeah, I mean, I forgot about Matt Murdock showing up. No, big deal. Don't care.
So he's free of legal trouble, except for the conspiracy theorists or those that side with Mysterio. What? I mean, I don't understand. If he's free of legal trouble, then obviously he's been. I mean, they don't find him guilty, correct?
Yes.
So what's the problem?
I don't know.
Just because some people are fanatics about
it was
one guy that showed up for a couple days?
It was because of, he said you're fine, but you're friends, right?
He said happy. That was it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said happy. You're the one that has legal troubles because he works for.
I mean, he had
Stark Industries.
You know.
Yeah, that's all kind of.
And he's a kid. Tom's a kid. Like what?
Yeah.
Gonna put the blame on someone else.
It was a rather weak, I don't know, premise for him to want to make such drastic changes.
I think that's one of the things. One of the two things, or both of them together, and this all kind of culminate into one thing. So I'll just leave it at one thing: is the weak writing. I feel like they could have wrote it just a little better, but they're like, okay, well, yeah, I don't.
Like in this area, it was weak.
It was kind of like, wait, let's get this over with. Let's get to the
because later on, I appreciate
not like. I don't mean like all of the writing, but I mean like plot wise.
Mm-hmm.
This
like
part,
even like a couple of the villains later. or not even the villains, but one villain and Doctor Strange, their motivation, I didn't understand, and it was just because of weak writing. Like it didn't
like make sense or add up.
It's like the screenplay says because.
Yeah, it's like this is why, but then everybody's like, but that don't make sense though, and also you didn't give a reason on this one instance, so why? And they're like, meh.
That was like
just brush it under the rug.
What was that meme I sent you about the screenwriters for Star Wars Episode 9? It's like the reason for Palpatine returning was somehow Palpatine's alive. Like there was no explanation.
Somehow.
Palpatine returned.
Somehow he returned. No need for details.
Good Lord.
So
I saw something like that. It was like, just imagine if you're ever thinking about writing that some guy who's paid millions of dollars to write, somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow Palpatine returns. So, okay. So, yeah, the premise of that, they can't get into high school, but...
No, they can't get into college.
College, MIT. And then, but Spider-Man's good, but happy because he's related to Stark Enterprises, which is, again, I'm like... Didn't they save the universe? Like, aren't they okay? That irritates me.
Yeah, but this one guy died.
This one freaking guy.
This one guy that wasn't even from our universe that showed up for a couple days.
It's why it's so hard for them to scale these movies properly. That's why it's hard to scale going from a freaking Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, where it's this global, universal, fight and movie.
You brought back half the population of the universe, but this one guy died.
So there you go.
And you probably
MIT for you.
You're free. You're free. You've been found innocent.
But you're butler, but happy. Okay. So they can't get to MIT. Happy screwed for Avengers Endgame reasons, or was it Mysterio reasons? Mysterio reasons. That's right. So at the end of
because the drones they used were Stark Industries,
right?
Drones.
So at the end of good Lord, Far From Home with Mysterio is when it showed quote unquote Stark and Maria. Remember, it was at the end of that one where it showed Stark and Maria.
Maria Hill?
Yes. But then this guy said, no, did I say Stark? I mean Fury.
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
Okay, sorry.
No idea
I mean
about.
Fury. It shows Fury and Hill like watching because she had a sniper rifle trained on him. And then he's like, no. But then in this movie, he's like, no, Fury's been off world. So clearly one of them is an alien, which apparently is the one on Earth. Okay, so
because remember we saw Fury on the Skrull ship.
Yeah. Charday.
So I was just going to say, as we get into the movie now, with the whole
past the
college stuff, so he goes to Doctor Strange to fix everything. Sort of. He wants to basically ask Doctor Strange to make everyone forget except his closest friends, MJ, Ned, May, Happy. And so Doctor Strange's like, okay, he's trying to do his thing,
Yeah. So he had him. Well, he started off he said he didn't complete all. He's like, make everybody forget.
Yeah.
And then.
So that's Peter's fault for not specifying before he started.
He just kept adding people and screwed it all up.
Everybody but Mary Jane. No, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. MJ. No, wait.
Get it right.
Ned.
May.
No, wait. May. And
Happy.
so then.
He had to keep changing it.
Yes.
And changing it.
Until it became this big, huge thing.
So then he was like, okay. And then, but it got out of control. And so then they thought they had contained the worlds, but then next thing we know, the villains start showing up.
They got what do you call it?
Slipped through.
Yeah, they slipped through the Earth.
Multiverse.
Earth. Sorry.
They slipped through the center of the Earth.
I kind of can remember multiverse is what I was trying to think of.
So who was the first one that showed up?
I think it was Ock.
That's right. It was Doc Ock.
Doc Ock. I find him super cool. I don't know, him and his shades.
Which before we find this out, and after that happens, Doctor Strange finds out that Peter didn't even try and call MIT or anything. He just took his letter of not acceptance and just took it as law. Didn't even try to call or
try to
anything.
do anything. And
showing how young and immature Peter Parker is.
Doctor Strange brought that out, and he was like, "What the heck, dude?" So like you immediately went to me, and you didn't even try to do your thing first.
Yeah, you went to like the highest power to fix this before you actually tried anything else.
And he was like, "Oh, I didn't think of that." Well, he is a
so he calls
kid.
Flash Thompson, who actually got in. The one person that gets in out of their circle.
There was somebody in the movie theater that said, "Who is that kid?" I'm like, what, really? You're going to watch No Way Home,
any of the other
but you've
ones?
never watched the other Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know, that was weird. Like that.
What a moron.
What an idiot.
He probably hadn't watched any of them.
Don't you dare show up to this movie having not watched anything
offensive.
else.
That's offensive.
What's offensive?
Them not knowing Flash Thompson.
Is it offensive?
No, like not knowing like who he is. Like what?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay, so he gets a hold of Flash because he's at the mixer for MIT, and he's trying to figure out who he needs to talk to.
Yeah,
because apparently there's some big wigs from MIT there, and he tells them, but it's a lady that's on her way to the airport, so he has to immediately run and find her in a car in New York traffic on a bridge. I don't know how he managed that.
And he manages to do it without any special...
Through the internet. That's how.
But he didn't know where she was at. He literally just went to the freeway and started looking. Because remember, he didn't have like any... It wasn't... His suit wasn't working, was it? It said offline or something.
I just remember him seeing a picture, like a...
he managed to just spot her in all the cars.
On like the highway, like cameras or whatever. He saw her walking and...
She was in a car.
However they do it,
But he tried to use like his iron suit technology. But he just
got on the bridge and started walking.
He just like started looking from car to car. Oh, and he found her. A little ridiculous.
Just a dramatic movie.
Every romantic
After 10
comedy
seconds
movie
in New York traffic on a
yeah.
super
there she is.
packed bridge, he finds her.
Just get over this part, the movie. They needed to make it quick so Dr. Ock could come in.
I love the movie. I'm not saying that. It's just funny.
But
so enter Doc Ock.
He looks the same.
Yeah, he's been de-aged, obviously.
Well, I guess that's true, but I got so excited when I saw him, even though I saw the trailers. I just got excited when I saw him come in.
So
did you guys
Doc Ock looks very de-aged, but coming in later is Green Goblin does not look that de-aged.
He looks the same, don't he?
Is Willem Dafoe?
I don't think he is de-aged.
Does he just look better?
No, he looks the same. From
Willem Dafoe has always looked old, so now he just.
Is it his head?
I mean, he looked pretty old in the original.
Something?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just looks the same. He's Willem Dafoe.
I feel like Dafoe is probably the best.
Oh,
villain.
Hands down.
He's amazing.
Without a doubt, yeah.
He is awesome.
I mean, just period. Yes.
I know we're going step by step, but there was a scene that I absolutely was dying laughing to.
Oh, yeah. We'll get there. So he runs upon Doc Ock while he's trying to convince his MIT and whatever, the person in charge of MIT admissions to let them in. And then Doc Ock shows up looking for Spider-Man, finds Tom Holland Spider-Man, starts attacking him. But then when he takes the mask off, he's like, "You're not Peter."
Yeah.
So then we're like, "Oh, something weird's going on."
Right. So as he's attacking him, also before he gets unmasked, when Doc Ock almost kills him, he would have killed him if he wasn't wearing the Stark suit.
Yeah.
He tries to impale him with his claw.
Oh yeah,
and fails because of the Stark suit, and then takes some of the nanobots onto all of his arms.
And that which is takes control of him, correct?
Well, he was able to then, Peter was then able to use that nanotechnology to stop the Doc Ock arms from attacking him.
So I don't know if this is a stupid question, but the whole time, like whenever he had all that, he was pretty much he couldn't do anything because of that, right?
Yes. He was just standing. Poor guy just standing there. Doc Ock can never lay down again. What a curse.
He can't
He
sit.
can sleep. He
can't sit.
He can on his stomach.
Like, that's torture.
I like to sleep on my stomach.
I mean, but he can never, like, lay down. Can you imagine never being able to lay down?
He can lay down. He can make it work. Maybe.
I mean, I guess the arms could just stretch out and he lay on the arms, but to have that big thing on your, I mean, those things got to weigh like tons. Tons. Those are some big, powerful, like, I mean, if you look at Spider-Man's little octo suit, they're like little arms, but these things
Little
are like
spider
big,
legs.
huge, stretchy arm metal things.
Arm metal things. That's the scientific term.
Okay, and another cheesy thing. So they fight, blah, blah, blah. They get zapped back into Strange's lair, and they get Doc Ock behind, not bars, but glass.
Some kind of
plexiglass, whatever that is.
It's not really a glass. Yeah, force field.
Force fields.
Probably a better description of it.
And then they're like, "What's your name?" And it was in the trailer, Dr. Octavius. What's his name?
His name is
Otto Octavius.
Otto. So many O's.
And then they laugh at him. Haha, no, seriously, what's your name? Like, it wasn't that funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
So Doctor Strange already captured Lizard before
was
they
there.
got there.
And
'Cause
Lizard,
he had already sensed that something was wrong.
nobody cares about Lizard.
I'll be honest, I don't care about Lizard, but
Nobody cares. Okay.
although when
this is
he
the
was
thing.
chasing him in the lab, that
So
scared the
in
crap
this
out of me.
movie, basically, we're running upon all the original Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man villains, the Amazing Spider-Man villains with Andrew Garfield, and now the Tobey Maguire villains, which actually we don't, because that was just who was the first? Vulture. So Vulture, Mysterio, not in this movie.
Oh.
Well, Mysterio is in the beginning, but only in flashbacks.
I was thinking more.
So it's just it's the 6 original or previous movies to this that the villains come about.
Yeah,
So
but
they-
not even all of those because we didn't get Rhino, New Goblin, or the Green Goblin from the Amazing Spider-Man.
That's because no one wants James Franco in their movie.
Is that a thing? Do people not like him?
He's an idiot. I think he's been canceled also.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Dave Franco?
Dave Franco's legit. I'm
He's
a Dave
cool,
Franco
right?
guy.
He's cool, right?
Now you see me. Now you don't. Which should have been the name of part 2 of Now You See Me. A horrific movie.
I forgot he was
about
in that.
stupid magic.
I love that movie.
Stupidest movie ever.
I watched it.
Them
I loved
throwing
watched
that
either
card
one of them.
around. They throw that card
thought it
around.
was good. I
Oh, it was
liked
the
it.
stupidest movie I've ever seen in my life.
it. I liked it.
I'm not going to say it wasn't entertaining, but it was stupid. Also starring Incredible Hulk. Crossover.
And Jesse Eisenberg.
And Jesse Eisenberg. Wait, no, he's in the DC universe. Okay, I lost myself in that.
Anyways,
Oh.
we were kind of
The
talking
villains.
about the
Strange's
villains.
lair.
So we have Doc Ock, we have Green Goblin, we have Sandman, which starts off good in this movie and immediately turns bad
Wait, why do you say that?
Yes,
because he was
that was
helping.
that was the villain I was talking about.
Yeah, he was
Whose
helping
motivation
him.
made no sense.
Oh, yes, this really made me mad. Like, I thought he was supposed to be a good villain.
He was helping Tom. I want to say Toby every time.
Peter,
He was helping
because they're all Peter.
the new Peter number 1.
Peter number 1.
Spider-Man number 1, Tom Holland in this movie. He was helping him when Electro shows up
Yep.
and Sandman shows up and provides this brick wall for him to dodge lightning bolts behind.
I think it's because
And
he
then
thought he was going to die.
He thinks he's
or
the
something.
Tobey Maguire Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he
Who he was
instantly
familiar with and is friends with.
he just loses trust instantly and can't comprehend a multiverse
Yeah,
apparently.
I kind of didn't like that.
I mean, who
either.
can't comprehend a multiverse?
I could totally comprehend.
That wasn't even the problem. Like he went along with it. He's like, "Yeah, I want to be cured. I just want to go home."
But then
They
he
see-
changed. He changed like that. Like, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah, well, which comes in later. We're still not there yet, but it's like the flip of the switch that he had already seen something good happen, and then one guy goes crazy, and then he just changes, just flips the switch, and he's all of a sudden bad.
He just
the rest of
decides
the
he's
movie.
going to be with everybody else because, like, the whole
It
like
made no sense.
we're gonna die if we go back to our universe.
But the person you're thinking of, which we'll get into shortly, makes sense because he's mentally unstable.
No. Him. That didn't make it. That wasn't a problem for me. I'm talking about Sandman.
Oh. Well,
Wait, who are you
else
talking about?
I thought DJ was talking about Green Goblin there for a second.
Oh no, he's talking about Sandman.
Yeah, but I thought you were referencing someone else.
Yeah, I said whenever they did something, then the Sandman all of a sudden was different.
Oh yeah,
Like his his turning made no sense to me.
yeah. He just got angry.
That was a big problem for me.
I don't know. Yeah.
About what?
I mean, you can't have a perfect movie. I don't guess.
No, you can't. But I'm just saying, like, weak writing at that point. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense.
Electro Thoughts.
Okay, here's how I feel about Electro.
How do you feel about Electro? AKA Jimmy Fox.
I understand they like had to have like a massive villain, like the baddest of the baddest, you know?
He was the most powerful in this particular
'Cause
one,
he had, like,
even though
so
then
much.
Green Goblin swoops in and seems to be more like, how many bombs can you carry?
I don't know why, but
An infinite amount.
I don't know how I feel about, like, you kind of said this, but I also have felt this before, not because you said it.
Probably
I
because
don't-
I'm very influential.
No, seriously,
upon you.
no. Jamie Foxx.
You're like my Padawan.
No. Shut up. Jamie Foxx is weird, serious. I only know him as a comedic
I will never forget Wanda.
actor.
You'll always be Wanda to me.
So weird. I don't know. Him being so serious seems so cringe, and I don't know. He can't do it.
And I
thought he
know,
did fine.
I know he does. I mean, did he win an Oscar for Ray, or he was nominated?
Oh, see,
But
I liked him
like,
in Ray.
But it's like ever since then, I just don't care for Jamie Foxx. Like,
him-
to me, he's one of those tryhards, like Will Smith. Stop. Just
no,
be.
don't compare him to Will
You
Smith.
can be no. When Will Smith is trying to be serious, don't try hard.
No, I like it when he's a great actor, in my opinion. I love Will Smith. I think he's excellent.
I'll take Will Smith over Jamie Foxx any day. Jamie Foxx is a Will Smith wannabe. Okay.
I don't want to compare them to at all.
But Electro, super powerful villain. Your name is Electro. Your power is electricity. Can you not move at the speed of light? Yet somehow they capture him?
This is a nitpick.
Somehow they capture him? When you are literally, your power is electricity, but yet they captured him. That's always an issue for me. Like, this is the whole Superman power levels. It's hard. It's so hard for superhero movies to be able to set power levels and have them in a...
Are we really breaking down Electro right now? Like, let's move on.
Okay, so Electro shows up from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
By the way, I thought Jamie Foxx did just fine. And
DJ's
much
pro
more
Jamie Foxx.
Much more appreciation for him than in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Now that is 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I hated Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I didn't hate Amazing
Which will come
Spider-Man.
into my rankings.
If you could improve that Electro, then you did great.
Which will come into my rankings later.
We all know you hated.
Nobody knows I hate it. Everyone should hate Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Me and DJ knows. I don't hate it.
You should.
I don't.
You should.
I don't.
Okay, so Electro's introduced. Sandman's introduced. Doc Ock is introduced. When does Green Goblin come into play? Refresh my memory.
He came into play on the bridge with Doc Ock.
When everybody's
That's right. Okay.
cured.
But they didn't get a chance to fight because Doctor Strange whipped him and Doc Ock away immediately.
Zapped him into the lair. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, like, they're all captured.
Oh, sorry. I'm at the end of the movie.
They're all captured except for Green Goblin then. Green Goblin then becomes, his brain switches
He's Norman.
and he becomes Norman
Or
again.
Osborn.
And he goes to Aunt May's homeless shelter of some sort. Something.
Yeah, so
like
he has like an inner dialogue again like he did in the first movie.
Like he's
And
talking
breaks
to
his
himself.
mask.
Yeah,
To me, he's like freaking Venom. Like he's got this crazy thing inside of him. Like it's the same thing.
I guess nobody in this universe with Tom, like, they know this about him. Like,
Well, obviously not.
because I thought maybe he expressed it. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But
But that was my thing. That was my issue with the whole middle part of this movie. Was like, do they not think that he can change at any moment?
Exactly. Like, he's still a psychopath.
Which
like,
they don't, because it's the wrong universe.
That's true.
And they hadn't gotten to the huge big reveal yet.
Well, when Tom,
Because
Peter,
did they
he like continue.
before we get into the last third of the movie, I'm kind of, like I said, if I don't, this is why I like the podcast immediately after watching.
Because he forgets everything.
When do all the villains leave? Is it before or during?
After they all get captured.
Okay. Then when is the big reveal of the multidimensional Spider-Man? Is
Well,
it during during the scene of Tom fighting Green Goblin?
No.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's after that.
DJ, you want to go? You go ahead. I know, but you go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So they get everybody in there. They capture all of them. Sandman helps Electro get captured. They capture both of them same time. Then Green Goblin shows up at the homeless shelter with May. Obviously, he's not a bad guy at that moment.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you all were talking about that scene or not when he was sitting there and
Yes,
May
I
and
saw
Peter
it.
were discussing, or May and Peter were
Yes!
discussing that they should try and help him, and he's in the background
Stealing
putting donuts
food?
in his pockets like a homeless person.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yes, I saw that. He kept
I love
looking and he
that.
kept like grabbing it.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
He really did seem like he was, just somebody that needed help.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
He
So
seemed,
that
he
kind
seemed
of-
like a crazy homeless person. Not to say that
Yeah.
all homeless people are crazy, but
You said crazy.
well, I'm just in this instance, he appeared to be a crazy homeless person type person.
yeah. So Peter and May's
Trying to be
discussion at the
PC with
moment.
homeless people. Okay, moving on.
Peter and May's discussion at that moment kind of pushed the story in the direction it was about to go, which is that they should help these people before they get sent back to wherever they're coming.
And that's when
So-
she says, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
Yes, the line is said.
The whole
No.
Or is that
She
when
says it
she's-
later, doesn't she?
Is that later when she's about
I'm
to
pretty sure she
die?
says that.
I thought she said it twice.
Yes.
I thought she said it twice.
No, I
No.
thought she said it in the homeless shelter.
I thought she said it in homeless shelter and when she died.
No, she don't say it twice. She only
I
says
thought
it
she
once.
just said it when she died. That's it.
Well, I guess
No,
I
because
missed
she was
it.
kind of out of her mind then. Remember, she's like, "No, let's go."
Are you
I'm
guys
good."
sure? I'm pretty sure she said it.
See, this is that's why I hate podcasting.
Either way,
It's okay.
the line
DJ.
gets said.
But
at
the
some
line
point.
gets said by
Because
Aunt
that's-
May instead of Uncle Ben. Does this Tom
Three
Holland
movies.
have
And
an
on
Uncle
the
Ben?
third movie.
No.
Does this Tom Holland have
No.
an Uncle Ben?
They like totally
No.
like did not have him.
So we don't know. Does this Aunt May? She was never married or nothing? Is
don't know.
anything known about that?
It's never talked about.
It's never discussed.
I remember
That's
watching
interesting.
it and I was thinking, "Where's Ben at?" And I was like, "Whoa, this is
But she didn't have to. She's just his aunt.
In this universe, it's just all Aunt May.
Aunt May."
Aunt May. Aunt. I'm an aunt guy. I say aunt.
I have never in my life said
Never in my
aunt.
aunt is what the British say.
No, aunt. No, you know what I say? I'll say auntie or auntie.
No,
That's what I say.
No, ain't he?
Aunt.
Amy.
But I've never said.
Is he or ain't he?
I've never said aunt. So that seems weird.
Aunt. She's an aunt.
Yeah, that's what I think of. I think of
You act like
Aunt
you're
May.
finna get up. What are you doing?
the fan. I'm freezing.
I am okay. Fine. Turn off the fan.
Thank you.
Okay, so at some
Okay,
point,
so they both walk into the lair. Him and Green Goblin. Peter and Green Goblin walk together to where all the other villains are being held.
right?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead because you know me, my brain is gone.
Okay, so Norman and Doc Ock kind of go back and forth, and they talk about how they all. This is where the reveal comes along that all of them died fighting Spider-Man, except for Sandman and Lizard. And so that kind of like the throws everybody like, wait, what?
Right.
I died, and then Doctor Strange comes in and says, "We got to send them all back." And they're like, "Wait, if we go back, we're going to die."
Yeah, that's right. So this would be critical point number 2 of the movie. Number 1 is Spider-Man trying to change everything. Number 2, now he doesn't want to send them back to where they came from because they would all, or most of them would die.
Well, he had a lot of influence.
So he wants to change them into being good people.
Yeah, you can't change
Correct.
people.
Doctor Strange tries to persuade him, no, we need to send them back because
Strange
a lot
was-
of more people are going to die if we don't do this.
If you try to alter history, it'll destroy the universe, basically. Right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, plus the longer they're there, the more chaos could happen as well.
I really liked the fight between Doctor Strange and Peter / Tom.
Yes, which leads to the fight between him and because Doctor Strange got a cube that he has whatever he did is contained in that, and all he has to do is like just push one little button on this thing, and it's going to send everybody back, and everything's going to be fine. But Peter snatches it away and tries to run with it.
Yep.
Which leads to the fight
into the mirror
Paige is talking about.
universe.
And you know what's so interesting? This is the part of the trailer I've seen, and when I watched the trailer, I remember seeing this mirrored-looking universe. I didn't really know what was going on, but
then Peter figures it out.
Did you not
It's
watch
just
Doctor
math.
Strange?
no, I have not.
But then Peter figures out it's just math and angles and geometry.
Geometry?
You said geometry.
Okay, yeah.
How long has it been since you've been in school?
I failed geometry, so don't
Dude,
ask me.
I ain't gonna lie, me too, bro. I don't know how I passed 10th grade.
I would have never been able to web sling those things together and get out of there.
So just one little thing that they kind of glance over, which I thought was interesting, and I don't know if they're going to go into it later or not. But whenever Doctor Strange like pushes Peter out of his physical form, he's still able to control his arms.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Walks away from Doctor Strange, and he's like, "You shouldn't be able to do this." And
Yeah.
he's sitting there going,
Yeah.
moving it away.
That needs to be explained.
He was like, what the heck?
It never comes up again, but I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah. I did too.
That's got to be explained at some point. Marvel, if Marvel's not good about if Marvel is good about anything, it's bringing small details back to mean something.
Right.
That's why this movie is full of Easter eggs that
So many.
you're not even going to notice unless you watch these YouTube channels that point them all out to you.
Right.
Which
And
I'm
it's
obviously
it's
gonna
like
do
the
that.
Hulk. The Hulk has like a secret power that nobody really knows about, is that he can see people that aren't in their physical body. He can just see them. So if Doctor Strange was like incorporeal or whatever, and he's just floating around and nobody can see him, Hulk would be like, "What are you doing up there?"
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know
you
that.
can see it. It's
I'll be
weird.
honest, I did not know that.
Please be honest.
Yeah, like nobody knows that.
Sade, we appreciate
Deej
your
knows that.
honesty.
I'm just sick of the dishonesty page.
We're sick.
I just wanted to be honest.
I will not stand for your lies anymore.
Makes me want to throw up.
See, this is why Deej needs to lead this conversation because I don't remember
DJ's
the movie
favorite
step by step.
character. Well, you need to shut up and let Deej talk.
Deej, go for it.
No, he's been letting me talk. He's been good.
Yeah,
No, I
thank
just-
you, Deej.
I want y'all to talk
Thank
too. I don't
you.
want to just be talking the whole time.
Well, you
I
lead,
don't ever
you
hear
lead the
you talk the whole
conversation.
time, Deej. It's mostly Gabi.
No, I've been talking.
No, I was just nobody really gets me. Okay, it's fine. Whatever.
Oh, was that a joke? Good one.
Nobody understands me.
Good one.
Continue.
Classic
Okay, so
Sade.
anyway.
Zinger.
As Gabi was saying, Peter uses math to stop Doctor Strange and traps him in his own mirror universe. Takes his ring, his little portal ring he uses,
Yes.
so he can't leave. He can't leave. He takes the box, the ring, and traps him there.
I thought that was so funny because then like Ned gets the ring.
Yeah, he gives it to Ned for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know why he
handed
gets
him.
it, gives it to him, and he clearly don't know how to use it. But
Okay, can I say
here
something?
he goes. He don't like it.
I don't
What?
like Ned.
What?
Wait, what?
You just you peaked all levels.
Sorry, that was allowed to be peaked.
Ned is me. I get that.
You don't like
I
yourself.
said,
You don't
like I said, he's the
You need
third
therapy?
wheel with all these hot guys and hot girls running around. They're all hooking up with each other. I'm like, hey, cracking jokes and being funny. The fat guy, that's me.
That's you.
I'm Ned. I hate myself.
Do we need a therapy sesh?
Ned in this movie gets on my nerves.
I don't understand.
He's not funny.
He's skinny now.
He has lost a bunch of weight. Kudos to you, whoever your real name is.
His name is.
It's Jacob Batalon.
He's bald.
He's so
Poor
you
guy.
guys.
Poor guy.
What's
He's
poor
bald.
about being bald?
He's bald and overweight, just like me, and the funny one. And I am the funny one, just to be clear.
You like to say that until you're not.
Yeah.
You have said I'm funny. And if you say it, you're always honest.
You have said it
'cause
before.
You say it.
Okay.
But anyway,
okay,
Ned
that's a
to
whole
me-
other podcast.
Ned, to me, the third, it was kind of funny when like they're having these moments, like Tom, my God, Peter Parker,
Just say
and
Peter/Tom.
MJ are having these moments, and Ned comes in there as the super third wheel, like hugs them as well. I'm like, poor Ned, but also. I don't know. Like, to me, his humor was again, I use the term try hard. It was too much. I don't know. He just tried too hard.
You try too hard.
There was
Sometimes.
something. Exactly. I have dad jokes. I'm Ned. I have no qualm saying I'm Ned. But
So you dislike yourself.
I said that as
I think
well.
you need to, like,
This is another discussion. for another time.
totally another discussion.
This is between you and your psychiatrist.
But I just didn't think he's that funny in this. I liked him in the first movie. Not so much in the second. Did not like him in this one at all.
Like, you.
Now, MJ,
I liked him best in this one.
really?
Yeah, I thought he was
Why?
great.
Like what? Tell me
I
particular.
liked him in every one of them. I have no dislike of
I need some particulars
Yeah.
from DJ. Like
Oh.
what
I didn't have any
made
problem
him?
with him, but this one I thought he did pretty great. I liked all his moments. I laughed at, especially later on when he's at home with his like grandma or whoever it is, and then later on when they're with a particular set of people in that room and they're talking.
You don't have to be so in specific.
Well, I just hate getting to that point before we actually get there in our discussion because we do go step
I
by
thought
step.
we were there. The part that I laughed
Not
at
quite.
was when he said, "This by the part you're talking about." When he said, "I will never betray you."
You laughed at
That's
that?
later. Yeah, we're not there yet.
Okay, sorry. All right. Well,
We haven't
Deej, take
even-
control because I literally can't remember everything. I don't even know where we're at right now.
Well, to me, that's the thing. Like, let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about
Stop. We got to have structure. See, this is you. You're like, oh, it's cool. We have a structure. Then like, let's just talk about it. Do you want structure?
I
or
get
do you just want to talk
I
about
get
it?
so sick and tired of it after a long time.
Okay,
I get
Deej,
burned out.
Deej,
Well, but the point is, we go step by step, but then we keep stopping and talking about it, so
Okay.
it kind of leads into it because we
well,
remember
we
things.
need to figure out a format for the show.
No, let's continue to talk
we
about
gotta
it.
have but we're talking about it in a format. So either we talk about it in sequential order or we don't.
Well, we're already halfway through the movie, so we kind of got to go with it.
We're
now.
only halfway. We got to
All
hurry
right,
this up. This is an hour podcast so far.
Let's continue.
Let's hurry this thing up.
So they get back. He has the cube. He's got the ring. He gives the ring to Ned. He gives the cube to MJ. And says, "I'm gonna go with these guys and try and save them, help them, whatever I can do. If you don't hear from me," or she says, "If I don't hear from you in however much time, if you don't text me, call me, I'm going to push this button and send him back." Which also led into some more jokes, and they're like, "Yeah, she will. She'll do it."
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, "There's no way that she's with him, with Peter, because obviously he's out of his league or whatever."
Yeah.
But so they
Zendaya's
leave.
out of everyone's league.
I mean,
Yes,
she's
that's
my woman crush. One of them.
She, her skin is
It's amazing.
absolutely flawless.
I've known Zendaya since Disney Channel. Shake It Up.
You've known
Okay,
her?
I feel like
Okay.
I've
known her. Quote, 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 quote.
You're that good of friends.
Quote,
DJ's
unquote.
DJ's celebrity crush is Rihanna.
Oh,
And mine is going to have to be Zendaya, even though
I
I'm
find
a
that
creepy
so
old man.
weird.
Sure, I'm 30 years older than her,
She's my age.
but she is flawless. You
we're
are
literally
not.
the same. LOL. I'm like a grown man.
Oh, Zendaya is just.
She's beautiful.
She's absolutely beautiful.
And her and Tom make a really cute couple.
Oh my god. Oh, Deej.
her and Timothy would be better.
No, I like Tom better.
Me and Sade have a bet, and everyone else can
Oh
join
yeah,
in.
we bet. We're betting.
I have bet Sade.
What are we betting?
I forgot what we
telling you.
bet.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You said January.
No. I'm not saying I'm saying what the stakes were.
Oh, well,
Probably nothing. A handshake.
I said. Well, I thought we were gonna. I was gonna
I
pay you
said-
$50.
No.
I was gonna. No. Okay.
No.
Never mind. I was just kidding around.
So we bet. I said, Sade, there's no way that Zendaya and Tom are together January 1st, 2023.
22, dummy.
2022.
You were saying 22.
No.
So in like a week and a
23.
half?
No.
Oh, sorry, 23.
A year. Yes.
23. Right, my bad. Sorry.
Thank you. I said there's no way. They're movie stars. Every couple that makes a movie together falls in love. But Sade believes in this stupid teen.
They're not teenagers.
Early 20s.
They're
couple.
25 like me.
Okay. Oh, look how mature you are.
I don't have a boyfriend, so
yeah.
I live through them.
Not anymore. Shut
up.
So,
moving on.
January 2023. Zendaya. Which one is it?
Her name is Zendaya.
Okay, Zendaya and Tom will no longer be together. Mark my words. Deej, what are your thoughts?
We're betting on it.
It's kind of hard because I kind of hope they're together still.
I do too.
But at the same time,
they're so cute.
Oh, you don't think by the time they're shooting Dune and her and Timothy all up in it, and Timothy all up in it together?
No,
she's gonna be dating Timothy.
I can't see.
She's gonna be dating Timothy.
They had an interview and Timothy was like, "Who's your favorite celebrity?"
Oh yeah, people are always completely honest.
He went, "Oh, Tom Holland, of course."
Oh yeah,
Zendaya's.
Oh yeah, sure. He's gonna go after the woman in the interview. Yeah, sure. It's going to be Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet.
It's going to be Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya.
No.
In 2023.
False. I know. I'm rooting for Tom Holland.
I'm putting it on the record right now when this podcast is published.
Together. I love it.
As Spider-Man and MJ, yes. In real life, ain't going to last because they're movie stars. They go out, make out with whoever they're with. Deej, I need your word right now. What do you think?
God, I hate Gubby.
Be real, bruh.
I want to be real, but at the same time, I mean, stranger things have happened, so I'm gonna go with her together still.
Okay. We'll let it be known. It's in the
Tom
books.
is so sweet, and Zendaya is awesome.
And we'll work on the wages of the bet sometime in the future.
Look
at Goldie Hawn and what's his name?
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. They're still together, right?
They're like the one couple. Them and Tom Hanks. They're the only ones that have
Will Smith and Jada Smith are together.
I mean,
they're Scientologists.
They'll be together forever. Seriously.
Yeah, but I mean, they've already...
But they had an open relationship.
I think that's actually a false. If you listen to the Red Table Talk, that's actually a false.
No. We're not getting into that. We're not getting into that. Moving on to the story while we're here.
Listen.
Okay. Deej, lead us on, because I've already forgot where we were.
All right. So they go to the one safe place they got. One place where they can lock down is Happy's apartment. And where also they have the Stark Industries fabricator.
By the way, sorry. Is it me?
They could just make anything.
Did I forget Happy and May dated? I don't know. I totally forgot that. For some reason.
Oh, yeah. They broke up at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. I don't know if they were actually dating or they went out on like a couple dates.
Oh, well. I don't know if that was like...
But I think Happy really liked her and apparently May just was like, meh.
Well, come on. Obviously.
I mean, yeah.
What do you mean, obviously?
Obviously. One's Marissa Tomei and one's John Favreau. So.
And he's let himself go.
No, he's funny.
He's funny. Anyway, so they go to Happy's apartment.
Funny is how I snagged Gina. So, yeah, it goes a long ways.
See,
even Ned can get Gina.
Will Ned get Zendaya? See, I keep merging the real life names with the fake names. Will Ned get MJ by the end of this run?
No.
I hope not.
I hope
That's
not.
not how it works.
Okay, continue on, Deej.
My goodness, we got it.
Deej,
we got to go. We got to roll here.
We're an hour in. We got to roll out.
So they get to work immediately on fixing everybody. The first one they do, I think they're kind of working in sync, and it just seems to mostly be Norman, Otto, and Peter that are working on the things. Peter and Norman find a cure for Ock, which is just a refabricated chip.
Yeah.
That will split the AI from his mind and have him let him have a breather. Norman says he thinks he's got a fix for himself. And I feel like somebody said they were being... Oh, no. Yeah, so he thinks he's got a fix for himself with his formula.
And Andrew said real quick he had a fix for Lizard. Like they had these fixes real quick. Oh yeah, we haven't even got to the multiverse Spider-Man.
I was going to say
move along, Deej, move along.
So they get a fix for Electro as well, which is something that is going to take all the extra electricity out of his body, and they put that on him, and it starts sucking all the electricity out of him, which he's kind of hesitant about because he's still.
I knew he was.
Like
he's enjoying his alternate universe energy. He says it feels good.
Yes. Yeah, and he senses the power from the fabricator, which is an arc reactor, and he's kind of eyeing it. Okay, so they get that on him. They kind of force Dr. Octopus because he really does not want this to happen. They force the chip on him, and it cures him.
Yes.
So everybody sees that they can do it. They're starting to do it. They got this. Electro's almost done. And just right before they're about to do Norman, which there's kind of like a moment where he says, yeah, it's just me. You can kind of tell something's not right.
Yeah. His voice. As soon as they asked him the question, I'm like, no, that's not him.
Yeah, and so, Peter sensed it.
Yes. Peter's spider sense goes off at some point, which was kind of cool. I really liked the way they did that.
I did too.
Like his spider sense went off. He's like trying to pinpoint what is wrong. And he's just like walking around. Everybody's looking at him like, what the heck? What's going on?
What are you doing, Peter?
And then he finally narrows it down, which you don't really. He just flips his web and hits Norman's hand, pinning him to the wall.
Yeah. Like, oh.
And then as soon as he does that, Norman like changes and he's like,
that smile, that
you're
freaking
good.
smile.
He needed to web his mouth.
I'll be honest, like that smile was so creepy and like.
Yeah, that. Oh man, he was just perfect.
Okay, so. Okay.
So I'll get to your point right here. It all goes down real quick. So Green Goblin shows up back in Norman's brain and starts taking over, and everything starts going haywire. Doc Ock is good now, but then real quick, Electro's like, oh, heck no. And so he rips that thing off. So Electro's back to being him.
Yeah, he rips that off and steals the arc reactor.
Everything starts getting destroyed in that building. They start fighting. And at some point, Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
Peter Parker, Spider-Man, whatever.
Spider-Man.
They start fighting.
He gets hold of Green Goblin.
And they were fighting, and like the part...
And he is punching the crap out of
Green Goblin, and he was like,
and Green Goblin is just laughing every punch.
It's like his punches weren't doing nothing.
I was dying laughing in the movie theater.
It was such a Joker moment of like, the more you hurt me, the crazier I get. And it was just freaking awesome by Willem Dafoe.
Their whole fight was crazy. They were just like falling through the floor. Going through walls.
It was hilarious. I think that was the best fight scene in the movie. Like, I mean, intense fight scene.
Yeah. So then, of course, all the villains make their getaway, but not before Green Goblin kills Aunt May.
Oh, gosh.
How did this scene affect you, Sade?
Well, okay, so like, before we get already...
I'm trying to fast forward this thing.
All right.
So we don't have a 2-hour podcast.
I did feel a little bit of something. Like, I was like, oh my God, it sucks. You know, it's sad.
Oh my God, it sucks.
It sucks to Aunt. I said Aunt. Weird.
It is. Yeah, it is Aunt May. You're right.
You said Aunt May. I was repeating you. Aunt May was like doing this weird breath thing. You know, I gotta take a break.
I wasn't sure.
She did get hit with a glider going 50 miles an hour.
When I saw her get hit by the glider, I'm like, oh, wow. But then she did get up. I'm like, well, I guess she's okay. I fell for it. Sade, go ahead.
I totally fell for it.
You fell for it too?
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay.
Until the blood.
But then she was acting weird, and then she started to faint. And then, of course, Peter reaches behind her and touches her back. And I guess the glider stabbed her like it did Spidey in the first Tobey Maguire one. But yet this one was lethal. So she's bleeding out of her lungs or liver or whatever it is. But she's dying. Tom
Holland started crying and stuff. I kind of maybe...
Did you get affected? Tell me.
I got affected maybe like just a tad. But I got more affected in another scene.
Because I weirdly was not affected. I don't know why. I've heard
other people say the same thing. They just weren't affected. They were
I was thinking, it wasn't this is, I don't know.
There was
I think part of it for me was I didn't have enough of Aunt May in any of the other Spider-Man movies.
There was.
Yeah, I wasn't really attached to her.
I wasn't attached to Aunt May. I was affected by. Sorry, I'm still talking. I was not. I don't mean to say that. I'm not. That sounded really worse than I meant it to be. I'm just trying to get through this. I'm just saying. I was more affected by Tom being upset.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, but Aunt May dying, I was like, I didn't really know her.
Like the way Tom Holland did that, I feel like
his acting.
He has really good acting.
The acting in these scene was perfection. But it just didn't get me like I wanted it to get me.
Yeah. And I kind of liked how he knew she wasn't going to make it. Like, he wasn't like being hopeful. He was just telling her it's going to be all right. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But he already knew she was dead.
And
which it made it worse.
So he kind of, gets that Peter Parker, he going to find the person, Green Goblin, he's going to find this person and kill them, whatever. You can tell in his eyes. And because he leaves and goes away and no one can find him. And so...
Which spurs on the moment where MJ and Ned are using the ring to try and find him.
So then we get to the third act, basically.
So,
so they're trying to find Tom Holland's Peter Parker. And Ned has Doctor Strange's ring on. And so he accidentally waves it in a certain manner. And he's like, oh, did you see that? I just wished for Peter Parker. Well, unbeknownst to them, they're engaging all these different multiverses. They come upon, the first one was Andrew Garfield.
And I will tell you, in the theater, everyone applauded and was screaming.
I was surprised because
as soon as I saw Spider-Man in an alley, I was like, well, that's not Tom. I don't know who that is. I don't know which one it is, but it's not him.
I was trying to think of if... I think maybe the last time I saw a reaction like this was when Yoda went off in episode 2.
Dang, how old were you? Like 18?
When did Yoda do the bouncing around thing? Was it episode 2?
Yeah, it was episode 2.
Clone Wars. When Yoda did the bouncing around.
2003?
That was the last time
24?
I think I heard y'all were children. Okay, we get it.
I was 6.
That was the last time I think I've been in an audience that was super engaged. But when Yoda bounced around, everyone just like...
in game, they were clapping pretty hard.
See, I don't remember that in my theater.
I do.
There may have been a few, but it didn't go off.
People were clapping the crap out when everyone came out to fight.
I understand, but I don't remember. I don't remember the end game we went to being equaling the reaction of what we saw in this theater. So, okay, forget all that. Doesn't matter. Andrew Garfield, they find Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man. He comes into this universe. He takes off his mask. It's Andrew Garfield. The crowd goes wild in our theater.
I like Andrew Garfield.
That's not the discussion right now.
Okay.
Everybody goes crazy. And I was like, wow. She reacts so weirdly to things I say. I was like,
well, I like him.
I did not ever say I did not like him. So weird that you say that. So and I don't clap because I'm not a clapper and holler in a theater.
I was straight up a clapper and a holler.
No, because I'm trying to hear the movie.
I'm trying to hear the movie, but our Sade appreciates this reaction. I'm like, I appreciate that y'all like this, but I hope y'all shut up very quickly so I can hear the words.
Shut up real quickly after the clap.
The words that come next. So they find Andrew Garfield takes off his mask. Our audience reacts, and that's like the first reaction. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So then
next Spider-Man,
Andrew Garfield's there for a few seconds and they have a discussion. And then
he's trying to prove that he's actually a Spider-Man.
Let's get to the next Spider-Man.
And so okay. So then we'll get to that. So then Ned does it again. No, we're looking for Peter Parker. He waves his hand again. In comes Tobey Maguire, but he's not dressed in a Spider-Man suit. He's just dressed in...
I straight up clapped.
His youth pastor suit.
In the theater. Because I didn't clap with Andrew Garfield. I just went, what? And then when freaking Tobey came in, I was like, yeah!
So the audience goes wild. So this is some blatant fan service. This is what this whole movie is based on. It is fan service.
No. The crowd does not go wild with Tobey. You realize these kids are like under like 15.
Yeah. They went more wild for Andrew Garfield. You're right.
I noticed that because I was like, yeah, and me and Kat were like, yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed the audience wasn't as loud with Tobey, and I'm like, what the heck? Have you guys never seen Spider-Man?
They went wilder for Andrew Garfield than Tobey Maguire.
Yes,
the older crowd liked Tobey Maguire.
Yes, they did.
It was freaking amazing.
It was.
And
awesome.
this is also it's the best part of the show, and also my problem with this show. I love that they merged all these universes together. You have the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, they have the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, which I did not care for, but they merged them together. Andrew Garfield steals the show to me. Like, I fell in love with freaking Andrew Garfield in this movie.
I don't get it.
I never cared for him. I saw him. I didn't like him in Social Network. He was the whiny butt.
I liked him in Social Network.
He's this may be my problem. It may be that he's played a whiny butt in all his movies that I've seen.
He wasn't a whiny
Social
butt.
Network and the Spider-Man.
He wasn't whiny.
I did not care for him. This movie, he freaking stole the show. He's hilarious. It's acknowledged in all the meta reactions that his Spider-Man was the inferior of them all.
Spider-Man 3.
He was number 3, and he's like, yeah, of course. I mean, it was just so freaking amazing.
He's like, I didn't get to fight aliens.
It was amazing.
And just his like, I love you guys. I love you guys. And then
and they're like, thank you.
Yeah. It was, I loved that part of this movie. To me, Andrew Garfield made this movie worthwhile. Because also, what sucks is if you did not watch any of those other Spider-Man movies, you're completely out of the loop on this. Like, this movie would do nothing for you.
So I have to say, are we like just...
So it's like, this is one of those rare cases where it's the strongest point, also its weakest point. Because if you had not watched any other Spider-Man movie, like say you even started with Tom Holland, Homecoming, Far From Home, if you come into this one, you're like, say you're a 15-year-old that's never seen any of the other ones, like you wouldn't know what the heck crap's going on.
So...
Charlie jumped on that microphone real quick.
I just want to say, we're now talking about the end of the movie, correct?
Yes.
So I'd just like to say something about Andrew Garfield. Like, he was being real, comedic and all that, whatever. But if you have seen Amazing Spider-Man, Gwen, he was with Gwen or whatever. Whenever Zendaya was falling out off a building or whatever, the Liberty statue thing, whatever.
Statue of Liberty.
Yes, thank you, Deej. And Tom was going to catch her and he couldn't, and then like freaking Andrew came in and went for it and he caught her, and at the end he caught her and he got so emotional, and that is when I cried. I don't know why. I got super emotional because I remembered the scene when he could not catch Gwen. And he got so emotional, and I was just like, oh my God.
And that was only good if you had seen the other movies.
Yeah,
that's the weak point of this movie.
Because we're like, oh my God, I know what you mean.
But it's also the best part. But I agree 100%.
I got more emotional when he did that versus May.
So here in comes the multiverse Spider-Man, and then the movie really kicks off because then there's this whole meta talk. It's hilarious. It's funny. It's also
they pull out all the memes too.
All the memes. It's self-referential, and I mean it's
like
just
you don't quite get like the pointing at each other thing. But when he says Peter and he's like, which Peter? Like,
oh yeah,
Peter,
that was awesome.
Parker. Like, we're Peter Parker. We're all Peter Parker. And they were all gonna like going like
Peter
this.
1, Peter 2.
It's like as soon as all three of them show up, it's just amazing.
And then that slow-mo when they're all in the air.
Yes.
Oh, loved it.
This from this point on, if you have been a Spider-Man nerd from the beginning and seen all the movies, you're just nerdgasming all over this movie.
And whenever
yes, I was.
And it's absolutely incredible. Now, we're going to flash forward this because we're an hour and 20 minutes
There's
in.
one more thing.
Okay,
one more
go
thing.
ahead.
Whenever like they were making fun of Toby was making fun of Tom and Andrew about their webs. Like, you guys don't do webs? Like you guys
They're
like,
mechanical
I gotta
webs.
kinda, like, make mine in the lab.
He's like,
I thought that was so hilarious.
His is organic.
I was just thinking,
like, where else does it come out of?
Yeah, and I was laughing.
Which
does it only come out of your
is
wrists,
a conversation we've all had since we've seen the Tobey
It's
Maguire ones.
hilarious. Yes.
Like, have you ever had a web block?
It's great. Like
I
every
loved
part
it.
of this, if you're a Spider-Man fan and you've liked any of the previous movies,
talking about their backs. and then Andrew says, "You want me to pop it for you?" And pops Toby's back for him.
yes.
All I could think about was the Spider-Man 2 when he fell in that car. He's like, "Oh, my back, my back," and he's like walking down the side of the streets holding the cars. That's all I could think about, man. It was great.
It was good. It was so good. So it basically, this was another thing. The end of the movie is very isolated because they're out on the Statue of Liberty Island, whatever that's called. They're fighting all the villains, and all these Spider-Men are on the Statue of Liberty that now has the Captain America shield, which is stupid. I don't understand all that.
What do you mean you don't understand that?
I don't get it.
Like, I think that's been in other movies.
Nope.
Nope, they were in construction.
I swear I've seen that Captain
Okay.
America shield in another show movie.
On the Statue of Liberty.
Yes. I'm not even like talking out of my butt. Like I remember.
You are though.
I'm not. I feel
Okay.
like I've seen it
Not
before.
important.
Okay, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up.
So all the Spider-Men are fighting all the villains, and all the villains are coming. And so the villains are winning, and the Spider-Men are like, okay, look, this is our thing. We've always been Lone Rangers. We've never had to fight with a team, except for Tom Holland, who is on the Avengers. And he's like,
great. Is that a band or?
Yes. And so the other two Spider-Man were like, never heard of the Avengers. And it's just,
it's weird.
Every scene of this with all these Spider-Man is gold. I absolutely.
What Toby is like, how is this helping us right now? Died laughing. I don't know why it made me laugh so hard.
It's so good.
Okay, since we're talking about the ending of the movie, when Green Goblin comes in, and they're on this.
Well, hold on.
I don't know what
hold on. See, you weirdly jump ahead. So they have all
That's
these.
the end of the movie.
You just don't get. Okay. So they have all these serums and whatever the frack they've created to fix all these people. First one they fixed was Doc Ock in the second act. Then they fix Electro
Sandman.
pretty quick. They fix Sandman pretty quick. They get the Lizard fixed pretty quick, where we see Kurt Connor for like 2 seconds in this movie. And then
So it was reused footage.
and so then we have yet to, Green Goblin's not even around in this last third of the movie until the very, very end, like when all these guys are fixed. Well, in comes Green Goblin. Go ahead.
So whenever he comes in, or I'm sorry, him and Peter / Tom have a go at fighting or whatever. And so, Tom is Tom / Peter.
He's wanting revenge.
Peter wants clearly angry. He wants to kill him. Revenge, yes. And he's punching the crap out of him, and he gets part of Goblin's ship or whatever ship. Is
Glider.
Dang, why did I say ship? Glider.
No,
Yeah.
he picks up the glider
whole
itself.
glider.
He picks it up and he's going to kill him.
He's going to stab him in
And
the brain.
Toby comes in, Peter Parker too,
and holds it. He
holds it,
holds
looks
it off
at
of
him.
him. They're like fighting over the glider.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, they have this interaction.
And I thought that was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then Goblin basically stabs Toby. And
but
Not
real quick
basically.
though,
He does that.
he does it.
I thought that was good though, because there's so many movies where it's like in this scene they would just be like, it's like suddenly you forget that the Goblin's even back there.
Yeah.
And it would just focus on them two, and they would have fixed the problem. But this was like, oh, they're fighting. They're like, oh, okay. But then
No, he's still the Green Goblin.
He's still back there, and he stabs Tobey Maguire again. For a second, I was like, oh crap! Don't tell me.
Gobby got teared up. Don't even lie, guys.
No, I did. Okay. Oh. Okay. Real quick, I did not tear up when Aunt May was dying. I was emotional.
When who?
Aunt May.
Oh.
I was emotional, but it didn't get me. I respected the acting in those scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The first part that teared me up was when Andrew Garfield got teared up when he was talking about MJ dying. Or not, my bad, Gwen. Like, that was, like, the acting from him was legit in this movie. Like,
He couldn't
all
save
of
her.
I was just, like, blown away. Like, Andrew Garfield was funny. He was goofy. He was sincere. And then he was like dramatic and crying in that scene. And like, it got me.
And when he saves Zendaya.
And then when he saves Zendaya and tears up again, because it's like he was able to save her in a way that he wasn't able to save Gwen. Like, man, that just blew me away.
I cried when that happened.
And then in this one, when Tobey Maguire gets stabbed and he's laying there and he's like kind of feeling like, I guess, a failure at that point because he got stabbed and was about to die. I don't know. I was sad again because it flashed me back to when I was a young 20-year-old watching the first Spider-Man and he got stabbed again. But that was kind of funny too because he's like, no, I've been stabbed before. It's okay.
That was 2004 for 2. 1 was 2001, so I was 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
a young
back
man.
to back in the movie theater.
5.
Me and Gina were newlyweds living in Dallas and we went to see Spider-Man.
In what year? 2004?
2002 was when the
2001.
first one came out.
Well, I guess for me, I hadn't seen the movies in theater. I've always had the VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Like I had never seen them, except the only one I've ever seen in theater is Spider-Man 3.
It was gonna come. The trailers come out in 2001, but they featured the Twin Towers. They had to redo it for 2002 when it actually premiered. There were no Twin Towers, sadly.
Oh, I thought it was like the very end of 2001. Maybe it wasn't.
No, I think it come out like May of 2002. I could be wrong. Either way, it flashed me back to Tobey Maguire getting stabbed in the back by the glider in the first movie. It was excellent. All of this is excellent. Very, very good. Then they get to the whole, the universes are colliding, collapsing. So Strange is up there trying to do his thing to save the universes from all. Oh, this was a whole thing with this movie. Like everyone from all these universes that knew Peter Parker, specifically that knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man. I thought that was interesting, kind of weird. Apparently a lot of people knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man. So he's trying to hold all of them out. So then Tom goes up there and he's like, what if we just redo a new thing where like, nobody remembers I'm Spider-Man at all. Well, that's going to include your best friend, Ned, and your girlfriend,
Even Doctor
MJ.
Strange.
And Doctor Strange. In every universe.
Did you see him get teared up a little bit?
You
didn't notice that?
Doctor Strange?
Yeah. Yeah, when he said we're going to...
I'm thinking Doc Ock. I'm thinking Doc Ock, yes.
Yeah, he got like emotional.
Yes, Doctor Strange got a little bit emotional too, and then he said, but still Steve doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a thing with these movies that kind of irritates me.
Here he goes.
When there are emotional, like real big emotional moments, the Marvel movies tend to want to offset them with humor.
Here's the thing.
They don't let that emotion settle and hit you like it really should.
I have to say something because you said that.
Go ahead.
You said something that's very interesting.
Thank you very much.
Whenever you said that, you know that when you are emotional, you have to use humor.
Yes, that's me.
That's Doctor Strange.
That's me.
He hates himself, Paige. I already told you that.
Yeah.
I hate myself.
That's weird.
So,
you shouldn't hate yourself.
So Doctor Strange, yeah, that was a good moment as well. Well done. So Doctor Strange does it. Bam. Nobody remembers that Tom Holland as Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Ned doesn't remember. MJ doesn't remember. MJ. No one in this universe remembers. All the people, the villains, and the Tobey Maguires and Andrew Garfields, they all go back to their universe. Everything is fixed, except for
quote unquote fixed.
And this hits hard as well. Is that the Tom Holland Peter Parker of this universe? He's fixed everything so that the universe is saved. His best friends are okay. The love of his life is okay. And this hit me. It was sadly, he has no one to go home to now. Aunt May is gone.
He has literally nothing.
He has no one.
Aunt May is gone and dead.
So,
but that was weird to me. I found this slightly confusing. Does no one know he's Peter Parker? Because when Happy's saying, "How did you know her?"
No, Peter Parker has been completely forgot.
So who is he?
Peter Parker?
But
he's nobody. Literally nobody knows or remembers Peter Parker at all.
But does he not have any records saying I'm Aunt May's nephew? Like, Happy wouldn't have known that. Oh, he couldn't have said, I'm Peter Parker, I was her nephew?
No, because that would have been weird for Happy if. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense because
that's what
his
kind of
record's been
confused me.
Well, he
clean.
just erased himself pretty much.
Well, that was okay. So that's what confused me. Like, so is he erased from history altogether, or is he just Peter Parker, unbeknownst to be Spider-Man? Because
No,
if he's
Peter
Peter
Parker's gone.
if he's Peter Parker, he's still related to Aunt May. But if he's erased from history itself, then is he going to have to get a Social Security card off the black market or what?
Well, he did get a GED, according to.
Like, how is he going to exist? How are you going to apply for a job?
Did you notice that Easter egg?
No.
The apartment.
It was you told me, but I did not. You said that was
That's the same apartment Tobey Maguire was in.
that was a Tobey Maguire MJ apartment.
The MJ apartment.
Yeah.
Was it?
That's what
Yeah.
Sade
I thought it
said.
looked similar, but it didn't seem to be the same
No,
one.
it totally was.
Yeah, and that, as soon as she said
Totally
that, I'm like,
was.
yeah, I recognize that.
I immediately
That little
thought
dingy apartment with those weird windows.
Maguire. I thought Tobey Maguire immediately.
I just thought of a New York City apartment. I thought the same thing when he first walked in. I was like, is this the same apartment? But then I was like, no, it's different.
It looked like the one he was in, the one I've seen.
Could have been.
The other, okay, so real quick to finish before I get to this last thought.
I have to pee.
Okay, well, so let's then wrap it up. We're at the end of the movie, so no one remembers he's Peter Parker. He's completely non-existent. So my thought is, okay, how are you going to get a Social Security card? How are you going to exist? But I guess that's for the next movie to figure out. And what I have read everywhere is that Amy Pascal and Spider-Man, blah, 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 they have like 3 more movies ready. Not ready, but they have 3 more movies planned with Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom signed up for 3 more, yeah.
Tom Holland has signed on for 3 more.
Good.
So I just wanted a couple of things in there. So MJ tells Peter that she loves him right before she is about to forget him, and she tells him not to say it back until she finds him again, or he finds her, and then to tell her. And then Peter does find them, has a whole thing rehearsed, and ends up not doing it because he likes that they're safe.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes, I noticed
Everything's
that.
okay with them. They got into MIT. Everything's going fine. He's just not gonna worry them.
Part of their life.
He
Yeah.
goes off.
But
and
she's
does
still wearing the
what we're talking
necklace.
What?
She's still wearing a necklace he gave
I
her.
did not notice that.
I only know that because of the YouTube Easter egg thing that I watched. That in the end of the movie, she's still
the
wearing,
Black Dahlia.
Yes, the Black Dahlia. I
Oh.
forgot.
I
She's
forgot
still
about
wearing
the
the Black
necklace.
Dahlia necklace that he gave her.
Wow, I totally did not notice that.
So that's
Well, I mean,
like,
because it's still in her possession.
but how would she know she? And that's my question. Like, so what's her explanation to herself as to why she still had the scar on her head that she band-aided?
I don't know.
maybe she
So, like,
maybe
what-
she doesn't know.
Did they just wake up the next morning and not know where they were and what happened? It's
Probably.
like
Yeah, like
Probably.
were they just like became aware that they were on the island or the Statue of Liberty and everything was destroyed?
yeah.
I mean, like how did that work?
Some of those little details, I'm just kind of curious. Like,
And they may explain it later. In
They
another
may.
next
Or
movie.
They may
maybe
do
they
that.
didn't forget until the next day.
but then she would wonder, where did I get this Black Dahlia necklace? Where did
Maybe
I
she
get
just-
this scar in my head?
I mean, sometimes you forget where you get stuff.
Sometimes you're like,
Ned's
oh, what
wondering,
the-
why am I bald?
Well, I've had like stuff on my body, like my arm. I'm like, I don't know where
I was
that
really
scratch
going to
came
be
from.
I was really going to be upset if they made Ned and her like suddenly boyfriend girlfriend, but I realized that was like literally like the next day or two.
I was gonna say they could do that.
I was like, oh
They're
no,
best
don't tell me
friends.
Ned moved in on her. Surely. All right, so real quick, let's wrap this up. We're going to do ratings, and then we're going to do our list of all 9 Spider-Men. Rating, Sade, go.
All right.
Oh, I forgot about. I know you said about the Spider-Verse, and I forgot to include
Oh,
it. So let me just.
my
You're
bad.
talking about ratings.
Well, while
My
you're
bad.
doing, while
Real
you're doing,
quick.
while you,
Sorry, I meant. Sorry. The thing I was talking about this with DJ when you're using the bathroom that we paused and then recorded. The only Spider-Man that was not in this movie, Miles Morales,
yes, he was not.
that they made reference to when Jamie Foxx was like, I thought you'd be black. He was from Queens and all this stuff. I was like, oh, I thought Miles Morales, they would have cast a Miles Morales and he would be the end movie credit. He was not. I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I kind of figured they'd somehow make him in the movie, but no, he was not.
He was not. Okay.
Okay, my Spider-Man movie rank is... I'm just going to...
Wait, did we get to rating of the movie?
Yeah, we're going to do ratings.
Oh, we're doing ratings first?
Yes.
Of like the movie you just watched?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I will give Spider-Man No Way Home a 9.
Deej.
10.
A 10 for Deej. Okay, so this is my problem. I love this movie. Don't get me wrong. I love this movie. I give it an 8. Purely for the fact that...
Didn't you just give it a 9 or a 10?
No.
Oh, I thought you said...
No, I was
You repeated what I said.
I was repeating Deej.
Oh, I didn't understand why you repeated
I give it an 8 because of the fact that if I didn't have any knowledge of the other two, it would not have...
But you do.
But it would not have nearly the effect on me. I'm trying to be...
But it did.
Objective.
But you're not.
My God.
I can choose the
This
rating
is a personal
I want.
ranking, Gobby.
No, I'm
It's
doing
not
it for
what if.
myself. No, I'm giving it an 8. I'm giving
That
it
makes
an
no
8.
sense.
I'm giving it an 8.
You're rating it on a potential of
Yes.
something that could have happened.
I have to acknowledge, if I didn't know who Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield would, I'd be like, okay, big deal.
No, that's...
You don't rate movies like that.
I do.
That's a really horrible way...
That's
a stupid way to rate something.
I thought you rated movies by when, like, you're
okay,
there.
but even with that, I gave Avengers Endgame a 10. This does not approach that. It's up there.
No, it does not.
It's up there, but it's not an Endgame for me. So even at the next level, it would be a 9. But to me, it's still not a 9 because I had some issues with it. I give it an 8. But yeah, y'all can't adjust it.
No, I didn't say anything. I gave it a 9 because
I wasn't trying to adjust it. I was saying that was a dumb way to rate it.
Well,
number 9 is good for me because there was a few things, I'm like,
I'm not arguing.
But it wasn't
with any of
quite.
you.
It wasn't quite a 10 for me.
I can see all of
I've
our
got problems
ratings.
with all movies. I had problems with Dune, but I still gave it a 10.
Okay, so I'm going to go through my ratings of all the Spider-Man trilogies, the Tobey Maguire trilogy, the Andrew Garfield duology. Wait, no, it's not that's because I have I have Spider-Verse in here. My number 1, I'm starting off number 1 to 10.
Go.
Because the countdown doesn't really work in this scenario.
Do it.
My number 1 movie, Spider-Man of all time, Spider-Man number 2 with Doc Ock. My number 2, Into the Spider-Verse.
Accurate.
My number 3, this one, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Wow. Whoa. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my list.
My number 4, first Spider-Man.
Whoa.
Are we all on par so far?
I haven't even talked to you all day today.
So your list is the exact same as mine so far.
Right now, yes.
That's interesting. Okay, so no need for you. Okay. So my number 5, Spider-Man Homecoming. Seriously?
Yes.
Okay.
That's weird.
My number 6, The Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield. His first entry into my...
That's where we change.
Okay. Number 7, Spider-Man Far From Home. Number 8, Spider-Man 3. Number 9, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, wait. I'm such an idiot. I forgot one Spider-Man movie.
You got to count into the Spider-Verse.
No, it's not that. I missed...
Of course you missed it.
I missed the ones with
Spider-Man 3?
Holland. I missed the first one. There's like the Homecoming.
Homecoming's the first one.
And then there's...
Okay, well, let's do Deej then while you fix yours.
Weird.
Deej?
All right, so my number 1 was No Way Home.
Wow.
Wow.
Thought it
So
was
your number
amazing.
2 is Spider-Man 2 then.
Yes, number 2 is Spider-Man 2.
Okay. Number 3?
Spider-Man 1.
Oh,
number
okay. Okay.
Spider-Verse is number 4.
Okay.
Far From Home is 5.
Really?
6, Homecoming.
Ooh.
7, Spider-Man 3. 8, Amazing Spider-Man.
You really
And
hated those
9,
movies.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I'm okay. Well, I disagree, obviously, but yeah, you really hated the Amazing Spider-Man.
So I had it as my 1 through 9. Well, actually, I had a 1 through 8 earlier because I forgot Spider-Verse. But I had in 1 to 10, I had amazing, perfect, classic, great, good, had its moments, something's there, and then, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was there.
All right. So,
Okay.
So sorry, I totally missed one.
So DJ's top 4 were the same as mine, but in different orders, and then his bottom 5
things get
got
kind of
real
different.
crazy. Okay.
So I'm just gonna name mine: Spider-Man 2, Spider-Verse, Spider-Man No Way Home,
That's what I'm saying.
Spider-Man 1,
That's what I'm talking about.
Amazing Spider-Man with
Messed
Tom
up right
Far
there.
From Home,
Messed up right there.
Homecoming with Tom.
Wait. After number 4, number 5 is what?
Tom Far From Home,
Okay.
and then Homecoming,
Then Homecoming.
Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2.
So all 3 of us had
Paige's
amazing.
last half was mine.
Yes.
Well, I like part 1 of Amazing Spider-Man better than I like part 2.
But all 3 of us had Amazing Spider-Man 2 as the last one, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that's like, I think that's the worst one of all. Electro.
Well, that's not okay. It's
Electro and the Goblin.
I think I just didn't like the villains in that one. I don't know.
It was terrible.
And
Gwen Stacy dies, and it's just.
when I think maybe she was maybe the best part of that movie because like,
Emma Stone was the best part of any
I
movie.
felt more emotion with her dying. I felt something when he tried to save her.
It was good. Yes. All right. So that's our rankings. I think mine is the superior ranking out of all 3 of
I
ours.
disagree with that one.
Nah.
But Spider-Man No Way Home, absolutely amazing.
Excellent day.
And if you're a Spider-Man nerd and you've seen all 3, absolute perfection.
Gabby's favorite word is absolute or absolutely.
Well, but you gave it an 8, so
No, it
you
is.
just said
No,
don't really lie.
you're correct. But I have
Absolute perfection.
I have
I give it an
caveats.
8.
If I give it a 10,
Amazing. I give it an 8.
I would give it a 9.5 if you're familiar with the other Spider-Man. Sorry, I can think with 2 brains.
No, this is dope. Amazing. Perfect. I give it an 8.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, number 112 of the Disagreeable Nerd. We'll put this out immediately because our 50 fans are clamoring for it. But only if you've seen...
We forgot about Venom.
Oh, well.
Eddie Brock shows up in the mid-credit scenes and then gets blipped away,
Yes.
I have a DJ...
leaving a piece of symbiote.
Totally forgot.
I have not... I watched Venom 1... I can't remember my exact review, but it was so stupid.
Really liked it.
No. I don't care about Tom Hardy's Venom. Just the fact that he left some symbiote behind.
Yeah,
I like that.
but
I thought it was funny.
That's all I need.
Even in the end credit scene, I'm like, that is such weird acting to me. Like, it just wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. Was it supposed to be funny? It was not. Like, it's just
it
weird
wasn't.
to me.
Let's go ahead and end this. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
And then the last scene was the commercial for
trailer.
Multiverse, Doctor Strange.
I didn't even stay around to watch it because my back
it
was
was just
killing me and I had to
commercial.
pee.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for listening. I'm Gabi.
I'm Sade.
And I'm Deej.
Later, dudes.